Hey, what's going on? Eric Bach here. I want to tell you the story on how I became an online business coach because frankly, it was never anything that I ever anticipated or really wanted when I got started. You see, I was an athlete growing up, and when injuries happen in sports, guess what? I was so committed to the training aspect and getting back that I fell in love with the process and wanted to become a strength and conditioning coach. So through college, I was doing strength and conditioning coaching. I had my CSCS by the time I graduated, collecting certifications, all of that stuff. And once I graduated, I thought I was set. I had all this knowledge and I would be good to go. So I moved out to Denver, took a job working at a great facility, working underneath Steve Hast, who was a strength and conditioning coach for the Denver Nuggets, working with a high-class clientele at the Ritz-Carlton at Forza in Denver. And at that point, I finally got a taste of what it was like to actually be a coach. And I learned that pretty quickly. You have to learn how to market. You have to learn how to sell because all the book knowledge in the world won't mean a thing unless you're actually able to communicate value. So I learned how to market. I learned how to sell, learned how to become a good coach with my clients. But pretty soon, working for a big box gym, happened to have a buyout, ended up being a huge problem because my 70-30 commission split that I built became $20 an hour doing pre-programmed workouts for this new ownership that came in. So I left that gym. I wanted freedom. I wanted flexibility. And at that point, I had been writing a little bit just at a personal blog, how to help my current clients solve the problems that they are facing. Logically, I thought, hey, you know what? That all the people that I follow in the fitness industry are writing on places like T Nation. And if I write about what my clients are struggling with and can communicate that effectively, then guess what? Maybe I'll attract more of those same types of clients into my business, right? Makes sense. So that's what I did. But you know what? I didn't have any plan to grow online. So anyway, I got hooked up with Lauren Landau, who's now the strength coach of the Denver Broncos, who was running Landau Performance and Stephen Hawkins at that point. And that was a great experience because I got to work underneath a world-class coach, still the best coach that I have ever seen in person. And at that time, I was working with him as a contractor, but still kind of spinning the wheels of my online coaching business. So like a wise person would do, I didn't tell my fiance that I was looking at hiring a business coach. And I hired John Goodman, who was running a coaching group at that time. John Goodman runs the PTDC, which is now the biggest online training certification in the world. And we're still good friends to this day. And what I didn't want to tell my fiance, was I bought my first coach on credit. I didn't have the money. But if I put my back against the wall, I said, you know what? I'm going to make this thing happen because it is my purpose and I am driven to make it happen. So started building my online coaching business. I was writing consistently. I started writing for guys like Tony Gentlecore and John Romanello, which soon became T Nation and bodybuilding.com. And I built up this authority as a coach that started pulling people directly into my world. And once I had that, that's when things started to snowball because I was seen as an authority and I was putting out quality information that was relevant to the people that I wanted to help. Well, guess what? They started coming to me. I started figuring out how to run a business and I started providing value to people. So that was what got me started. So if we want to fast forward this a little bit, I'm training NFL athletes, world-class athletes, doing what I had wanted to do for so long. But something was still missing. You see, I noticed so many coaches were incredible at what they did, but they were just in this game forever. They're training for 20, 30, 40 years, consistently sore and making decent money, but never doing anything that's life-changing in terms of being able to travel because they're always worried about trading dollars for hours. So I kept spending more and more time on my online coaching business and it grew and it grew. And it became a point where, I had a conversation with Landau Performance and those guys and we decided to part ways. So I decided to go all in on Bach Performance. I was still training clients in person in Denver. I was downtown. I brought a lot of my clients with me, and those who weren't with me in person, I taught them how to train with me online. So I had that residual income, and then I had my in-person business, which was still strong. Now, about 2 months after I made this transition, keep in mind, I was making 6 figures as a strength coach, which was incredible. And I took the little money that I did have and said, you know what, I'm going to commit to building my thing here, right? And anyway, so I'm training a client one day and absolutely terrible. Got this message from an accountant or from my accountant's assistant, and they could not find my accountant anywhere. The IRS was there, the FBI was there. And as it turns out, my accountant had committed the biggest white collar crime in the history of the state of Colorado. Embezzled something like $22 million from local businesses, including mine. So I found out that all my tax payments that I was supposed to be making over the last few years were being put in his wallet and he was writing zero, which, long story short, left me with over $100,000 in bills to be paid. I got a bad lesson. I actually ended up being a great lesson. He got 12 years in prison. So my back is against the wall. I had left the gym. I was all by myself here and trying to think, what can I do to build this business? I need to pay these bills because I'm stressed. My marriage is stressed because of all of it. And what am I going to do? So I doubled down on my hybrid method. I started playing around with different Facebook ads. I started really committing to sales and marketing. I was working with John Romaniello, best-selling author at the time, and we really put some different structures and strategies that all of a sudden took my business from $5, $6, $7, $8 to $10, $12, $15, $20,000 per month. And pretty soon I had coaches reaching out and saying, Eric, what are the things that you're doing? Because I see you everywhere all the time. And pretty soon I was getting invited to speak at masterminds and just talk about what exactly I was doing with my business that was working and how it could help other coaches do something similar. And what naturally happened off of that was people asking me, Eric, can I work with you? Can you show me what exactly you're doing in your business? So, business coaching was something that started happening organically in around 2017. And it was something that was always ancillary in terms of the business because I still love the coaching aspect so much on the fitness side. But, if we want to fast forward this, built out a team and we're helping clients and 5-month coaching program, clients are getting great results. But I start getting burnt out on the actual fitness side of things. And as that happens, I'm like, man, I got to start building this team out more and start to pull myself away from the business so I don't have to work in the business, I can work on it. And at the same time, my wife, who was working a 9-to-5 job in the tech space in Denver, sick of her job, miserable, hates the commute, all this. And we decided to make a drastic life change. And this drastic life change is only possible because we had the online revenue, right? We had built the online coaching business to a point where I can go anywhere, travel anytime, and I wasn't going to be locked down with dollars to hours. So Lauren and I said, hey, you know what? Let's make a jump. Let's take a risk. Let's go somewhere else. So quit her job, gave up our beautiful apartment in downtown Denver, which we loved. We bought a house down here in Georgia, and then she started doing what she loved and working with real estate and with family and with family down in this area. And it's been life-changing. But the only reason we could get there is because we took that risk in order to get the online coaching aspect up and going, even when my back was against the wall, even when she didn't necessarily know at that time. Thank God it worked out because probably wouldn't be married to her on this day. Anyway, so that's how it continued to grow. And now over the last couple of years, we obviously had the ups and downs of COVID. We had the online coaching business was continuing to grow. And now we've got over 15 people that are working for us. And we're just doing things completely differently now where we have the system set up. We have the scale set up. We have clients getting incredible results, getting 10, 20, 30, even $40,000 in the bank when they're working with us. And it all really stems from finding out that I do love fitness. I do love helping people get life-changing results. But long-term, I didn't want to be another coach who was struggling to make it through the days, who was struggling to pay those bills, who had this financial stress and the stress of, frankly, doing manual labor for years on end. And pretty soon I found that, my passion through fitness, which is still there, wasn't quite as bright as helping incredible coaches and strength coaches actually learn how to communicate effectively to pull people into their world. Because there are a lot of people in fitness who are actually good marketers, but they're terrible coaches. And these are the people that we see peddling waist trainers, peddling detox tea, and all of this stuff, right? And frankly, the only way to overcome that and leave an impact in getting people world-class results is by learning how to market, learning how to sell, and then delivering a world-class service and doing so ethically. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you want to learn how to create life-changing results through your coaching by being able to effectively communicate with perfect client packaging and then unlocking what we call our raving fan formula, just send me a DM right now. I'm a coach for coaches and be more than happy to help you transform your business and by extension, your life.